Welcome to a brief video describing the APA citation style according to the 7th edition of the APA Style Manual, brought to you by Kinlaw Library at Asbury University. First, let's identify why we even need to bother citing our sources. Anytime you are doing research, you discover ideas and information that someone else has already found before you. We call claiming someone else's work as your own plagiarism. We cite, both in text and on a final reference page, in order to avoid plagiarism. For more information about Asbury's stance on plagiarism, check out the Asbury Bulletin. Secondly, we cite in order to provide a uniform system of discovering the sources used for our readers. And lastly, we cite in order to give credit to the author of the source. APA, which stands for the American Psychological Association, is one of many citation styles. You may have heard of or used others, such as MLA or Chicago. Citation styles establish writing guidelines in regards to referencing the work of others so that all papers are uniform across specific disciplines. APA is the most commonly used citation style among the social sciences and is currently in its 7th edition. Let's first look at how you would cite a source in text using APA. For the learning purposes of describing in-text citation in this video, we will use this article, which I found on the CQ Researcher database called Issues in Higher Education, Should Universities Focus More on Job Training by Alan Greenblatt. APA requires that you cite the source used or referenced immediately after that information is presented within your paper or project. You can also give the information within the context of your sentence. Using our example article, we need to make sure that we include the last name of the author and the publication date, generally the year of the article, as well as the page number of where the information was found. As this is an online article, there may not be a page number. If this is the case, then APA asks that you give a paragraph number. There are multiple ways in which we can include the author of the source when we are direct quoting. We can include the author's name at the end of the sentence within the parenthetical documentation, or we can mention the author's name within the context of our sentence. In either case, the date of publication comes after the author's name. Please note that in all instances, the parentheses are considered a part of the sentence, and the period to conclude the sentence comes after the closing parentheses. When you choose to paraphrase information, the page number or paragraph number is not needed. You can simply provide the author's last name and the year of publication. In addition to citing a source within the text of your paper, you must also include all cited sources on your reference page. This is the very last page or pages of your paper, but it does not count toward your total page count. This example of what a reference list should look like is from the APA website. When finding the information needed to include in the citation of an APA reference page, in general, we ask ourselves 4 basic questions: who, when, what, and where. The who helps us to know to look for the author of the source. We can also ask ourselves questions such as who is he, why is he talking about this topic, what makes him an expert, and so on in order to help us determine the credibility of the source. Next, we need to determine the when of the source. When was it published? This is important to APA because this citation source is most commonly used by disciplines when the date that something was discovered or published is vital to the research. Then we ask ourselves what. What is the source about? And we find this information in the title or titles of the source. Lastly, we ask ourselves where. Where was this source published? This refers to the publishing company, but can also refer to a URL or DOI of an online source. This can also include the actual edition of a source, as well as the page range used if you are not referencing the entire work. So for a book, the citation would look similar to this, with the correct information filled in. In addition, if the citation encompasses more than one line, then each line after the first are indented and the entire citation is double-spaced. Let's look at our previous journal article as an example. Now, it was found through one of the databases in our library. One of the great things about a database is that it wants to try and help you cite sources correctly. So in CQ Researcher, where I found the article, there is a Cite Now button, and when I click it, it shows me what it thinks is the correct APA, or MLA or Chicago, citation. These can be very useful tools, but make sure you know enough about the citation style you are using to look at this provided citation and know if it is correct. Since we looked at a journal article in the database, the citation varies slightly from if we were providing a citation for a book, as previously discussed. We are still including the author, the date of publication, and the titles, but we now need to also provide the volume and issue numbers of the journal, as well as the DOI if it is provided. A DOI is the Digital Object Identifier that goes along with most digital articles as a constant and permanent link to that article. APA no longer requires you to tell the database where the information was found, so this citation is not quite correct. Also, keep in mind that you will need to make sure the formatting is correct when you copy and paste the citation into your reference page. If we wanted to cite an electronic book, we would provide the same information. Both print and electronic resources have the same foundation. Notice that you still provide the author, date published, and title, but the source of the book is not only any other publication information, but also where you found the ebook. The preferred format of this is a DOI, but can be presented as a URL if that is the only information you have. This example is an online book published by the American Psychological Association. Notice the citation provides the name of the publisher and the DOI where the electronic version can be located. You can find many ebooks available on Kinlaw Library's website. Thank you for taking a few minutes and watching this APA citation video. I hope you found it useful. If you find you are in need of additional clarification or assistance, one of the best online resources is the Online Writing Lab at Purdue University. They have detailed information about both APA and MLA format in an easy-to-understand presentation. The link is shown, or you can simply search OWL and Purdue. The official website for APA Style also contains a wealth of information that is easy to understand. Additionally, you can take a look at the library's APA Quick Guide available on our website. You can also always ask a librarian. You can call us, email us, or stop by the library. We also have an online chat option.